Here are 25 facts about Huggy Wuggy that you might not know about. 1. As far as I know, Huggy Wuggy is the only character to appear in all 4 chapters and Project Playtime. He tries to kill us in chapter 1, we saw his fur in chapter 2, we see a hallucination of him in chapter 3, he tries to kill us in chapter 4, and he's one of the playable monsters in Project Playtime. 2. Huggy was viewed as the ideal experiment, possessing both sufficient intelligence paired with maximum obedience, even being used as an example for what the other toys should act like.
Experiment 1170, Huggy Wuggy, remains the optimal outcome due to his sufficient intelligence paired with maximum obedience. End of log.
3. Huggy is one of the few toys who can't talk, as the only noises we hear him make are screams, and his counterpart, Kissy Missy, also can't talk. 4. Huggy is part of Playtime Co.'s security, as in the green tape that we find in the lobby of the factory, Leith tells us that the building is filled with motion triggers and other things, but then he says that they're the more tame aspects to their security system, referring to Huggy Wuggy.
For example, this facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system. No spoilers.
5. Huggy's hand seems to have been originally blue, as in the chapter 1 trailer when he slides his hand across the wall and into a door, his hand was blue instead of the yellow one that he has now. 6. Huggy also once managed to escape the factory by running through an open delivery bay door and wandering into the woods. But the interesting thing is that at the very end of the video, we see Huggy at a suburban home, and although nothing is said about it, it might be Huggy's old home. 7. Although hard to notice the first time playing, when we make it into the room with the red grab pack hand in chapter 1, Huggy looks at us through a vent before pulling himself back and shutting the vent behind him, meaning that Huggy was stalking us throughout the chapter. 8. When Huggy managed to escape the factory, he first made it through the vents and then out of the delivery bay door, and since he chases us in the vents in chapter 1, we can assume he knows these vents very well, especially since he manages to keep getting ahead of us even while we're running at max speed. 9. Both Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy have appeared as each other in the games, as when Kissy tackles us in chapter 3, the lighting makes her look blue, but when Huggy sees us in the labs in chapter 4, the lighting made Huggy look pink. 10. Huggy was going easy on us in chapter 1, as when he comes out of the shadows, he doesn't kill us till exiting the hallway and walks extremely slow, but in chapter 4, this dude sprints at us even though half his left arm was torn off. 11. Apparently Huggy wasn't modeled after any animals or even toys, but the inspiration came from Sour Patch Kids, which might even be why his body and hands were blue originally. 12. Huggy's height also seems to be a little bit inconsistent, as in chapter 1 it was said that Huggy was 17 feet tall, but after chapter 2's release it was said on Twitter that Huggy's actually 18 feet tall. 13. So far, Huggy Wuggy is the only character to survive his death, as in chapter 1 when we sent him down to the bottom of the factory, he somehow managed to survive, yet every other character who we've killed hasn't come back, or at least we just don't know it yet. 14. Although some of Huggy's injuries can be explained by the fall in chapter 1, he's also missing his left arm, which is weird because when we saw him fall, we didn't see his arm get torn off or pulled even a little bit, so he must have lost it either when he fell down further or something else could have happened to him. 15. Huggy actually knew that we were coming back in chapter 1, as he stays in the same exact pose that he was in the Hour of Joy tape, meaning that he was trying to make himself seem like just a statue in order for us to not question anything, because there is literally zero chance that he was standing like this for the past past 10 years, which means he had to have known we were coming and did this on purpose. 16. Huggy also wanted us to keep going, as when the electricity goes out, we were pretty much stuck in the factory and would have no way to keep going. But that's until a key appears right in Huggy's hand, allowing us to continue into the factory. 17. Although you may not have noticed it on your first or even second playthrough of chapter 1, after we first run away from Huggy and make it into the vents, the door actually closes behind us, meaning that Huggy had to pull up in front of us and wasn't just doing it to be scary. 18. In chapter 1 and in the Hour of Joy tape, we see Huggy hold up his right hand while waving, but in the chapter 3 hallucination, he's holding up his left hand, and because he appears in the hallucination pretty much out of nowhere, this might have some kind of symbolism. 19. Huggy also appears to hate what happened with the Bigger Bodies initiative, as in the Project Playtime tutorial, the prototype tells Huggy that we're trying to make more toys and uses this as motivation for Huggy to kill us.
They are trying to build more toys. You will see the location of every puzzle pillar. Protect them. Kill everyone in sight.
20. In chapter 1, when the power shorts out and we go into the electricity room to fix it, Huggy not only runs away but also shuts the door behind us, most likely to give him more time to escape. 21. In a tweet made by Mob, it says that Huggy's obedience was really patience, meaning he was obeying Playtime Co's every command, waiting for the right opportunity where he would be able to escape and they wouldn't see it coming. 22. For whatever reason, the icon picture for Huggy Wuggy when loading up Poppy Playtime has 0 teeth at all, and it's unknown whether or not this is just a visual bug or something intentional. 23. Before the Hour of Joy, Huggy killed about 11 people during his escape, as when the Playtime Co staff went to go looking for him, 5 of them were confirmed dead while 6 went missing, and by missing it probably means that Huggy killed them but they couldn't find the bodies. 24. Huggy Wuggy and probably many of the other experiments are a lot stronger than you might think. For example, Huggy manages to keep his arm held up for hours on end, as in the Hour of Joy tape we see him in the exact same pose that he was in chapter 1, and you gotta have some crazy shoulder strength to hold your arms up like that, not to mention the catwalk incident where this dude burst through an entire metallic door. This dude also devoured a defenseless animal and some employees at Playtime Co when he escaped containment. So that one arm that Huggy's been raising up since the Hour of Joy, if he's put in the exact same situation as Kissy Missy, best believe he's pulling up so hard his head might hit the ceiling. And finally, fact 25. Huggy is one of the last surviving toys in the factory. As the prototype had Safe Haven bombed, we killed Doughy, Mommy Longlegs, and Catnap, and now there are only a few toys left. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and click on this video right here.